everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele Underground Podcast. Almost.
Almost, because I'm gonna mute or one of the mics, and can you put the lapel on?
Oh, my bad.
So let me mute it first.
Yeah. I forgot. This isn't, Thursday Live Lesson anymore. This
we're
is
totally
the
ready
Underground
for
Podcast.
the show.
So, you know what I mean? Like, there's standards on this show, apparently, so we gotta, I want to do it like this, so I'm not doing anything inappropriate, like showing my midriff or anything like that. I don't know, we might get flagged for it
indecent exposure.
Indecent exposure. Kai, can I plug this in too?
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Now
Finally
we're set.
ready.
Oh my goodness. Welcome everyone to the Ukulele Underground Podcast.
Let's how about we roll it back? For the audio podcast. Make it easier for me too.
Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to the Ukulele Underground Podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero, joined by these two fine gentlemen, Mr. Aaron, the voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend, Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
It's time. It's 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Let's pot it up, guys. Let's pot it up. So, did we have a cliffhanger question from last week, Kahai?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think someone forgot to do that. Whoever it is. Whoever. Yeah, that guy.
Drop the ball.
Drop the ball. Drop the guy on the camera. Drop the ball to. Anyway, so in this show, we answer any and all of your ukulele questions. We are live. So this is a live Ukulele Underground podcast. So utilize the live chat to ask us questions, or if you guys are listening to this as a podcast, on your car or whatever on your way to work, you can email us when you get the chance if you have any questions and things like that. And who knows, you might get answered here on the Ukulele Underground podcast. Kahai, do we have questions or do we have any student reviews, anything like that we should talk about, please?
Yeah, we have a couple of student reviews. We have a question. I think we have a question.
Oh,
and then,
it's a fun-filled show today, huh?
Yeah. So, and then I don't know. Do you want to set a new challenge for a new songwriting challenge too? So,
yeah. That's wow. We have a lot to do too. We can't talk about Nicktoons today, Kai.
Nope.
All right, go ahead. First question.
Okay, so the question was from Sue. Chris and Sue.
Chris and Sue, yeah. Kids.
She said, I'm enjoying Aldrine's new videos on his Oversoul channel.
Nice, thank you.
In the You That I Want video, I noticed that sometimes he uses a pick on his baritone. Is it just a personal preference when picking wound strings, or does it enhance the sound?
Good question.
I've never used a pick on my baritone, even the one I used to strum when I was 10 or 11. Just wondering if I should give it a try when I'm just picking some bass notes. Okay.
Great question. Okay. So first of all, thank you for checking out my new videos on my Ukulele Oversoul channel. If you guys haven't checked it out, youtube.com/Ukulele Oversoul. Yeah. Now that I've peddled my wares, let's move on.
It's brand new videos on a very old channel.
Very, very old channel. It's just like, I don't want to lose all those subscribers, guys. It's a lot. It's a lot of subscribers, anyway. So, why do I sometimes use a pick on my baritone, and why do I sometimes not use a pick on my baritone? It all really depends on what I'm playing on my baritone. If I could, if I could help it, I would not use the pick at all. So just right off the bat, I wouldn't use a pick at all if I could help it. But there are special circumstances that I would use a pick on my baritone. Strumming, I would never use the pick. Okay, unless I was playing some kind of acoustic punk song or whatever, which I'm going to, explain why later, because it's going to be part of the explanation of why I do use it. Unless I'm playing like a acoustic punk song or things like that that need some palm muting, then then maybe. Okay. The reason why I used it is because those parts that I used it for were heavily palm muted. Okay, so it's just easier to palm mute, especially fast lines, with a pick. Okay, so the latest example is You That I Want. So in You That I Want, there's no what would that be? I don't know the notes in my regular ukulele, but the line goes. It's just
But
easier.
lower on the baritone.
More
right?
on the baritone, yes, a lot lower on the baritone. So it's just easier to get those lines a lot cleaner with a pick, okay? Because when you're palm muting, the attack on the strings are not as hard as if you were to strum it. You know, like if you were to strum with a pick, and that's why I said I would never strum my baritone with a pick. Plastic on plastic and hard attack just doesn't go well together, all right? But those lines, because they are palm muted, plus they're kind of fast lines. If it was just palm muted, but I was playing stuff like, but it's fast lines, like, and just to make it a lot cleaner, that's why I use the pick on it, okay? It gives it a nice brighter sound, because if I did this kind of attack, although you get the nose, you're hitting it with the flesh, so it's just not going to be that same brightness of a pick being used when you palm mute that line. Okay. I also palm muted in Mega Man 2, Dr. Wily. So I think a couple videos before that was Mega Man 2, and there's one part that I palm muted, and there's one part that I did not palm mute. So the part that I did palm mute, I think I was just doing. I was using that kind of as a bass line, you know. But I wanted to make that video kind of purely ukulele, so I didn't use guitars, I didn't use basses or anything like that. I just used a tenor ukulele, a long neck soprano, a low G ukulele, and a baritone ukulele. So there's 4 different ukuleles in there, and I wanted the baritone to kind of simulate the bass line for Mega Man 2, and that's when I used the pick. But there's a bass line in the end where it goes where I didn't use the bass or the pick at all, because it's heavier hits. So like I mentioned earlier, if the hits are kind of heavy, you don't really want to use your pick for that. So I don't use the pick for the heavier hits, but those kind of small ones, like I would use that. So because it's just kind of awkward to use my pointer finger. My pointer finger is not as long. If I maybe had a long pointer finger, I would do it, but my pointer finger gets kind of destroyed every time I start strumming really fast. So my pointer finger is not that reliable. So that's why I use a pick. Okay. I mentioned punk music because a lot of punk music you would you would do palm mutes. So I would maybe use that, but then once you start strumming, I would kind of use a different finger to strum and not the pick. But then once it goes back to palm muting, I take the pick and use that again. It's just brighter than palm muting without a pick. So in short, I use it for the palm mutes. Yeah.
And in that song, in You That I Want, it's basically a guitar.
Yes.
With you, like somebody playing guitar with a pick and palm muting.
Yes.
So you're just trying to recreate that sound using a baritone instead, right?
Yeah. In reggae, there's a lot of that, and like there's a lot of that palm muted guitar to just kind of add like little things here and there, just to it's not background noise, but it's just like kind of ambiance, like riffs, So that's what that was. It's basically just me trying to stay true to the melodies of You That I Want, and
without using a guitar.
Yeah, without using a guitar. Yeah, it's just I still want to keep it as as ukulele as possible. My latest video today, I did use a guitar because I wanted to stick true. Today I put up Under the Covers, which I put on my second album, but I re-recorded it in a step lower, and I really like the guitar part in that. So to kind of stay true to the original recording, I used the guitar. But if I can help it, I was telling my wife, like if I can help it, I'm gonna make all ukulele. So most of the covers that I'm gonna do for that channel is gonna be almost all ukulele. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Thanks for noticing too. You know what I mean? Like that's such a small part that that people don't really don't really see. Yeah. So kudos. Nice. Thanks for hearing the little tiny moving parts in that song. That's cool.
It's
Thank
like
you.
when people made a comment about you using a thumb pick that one time that you broke your thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's like,
thank you.
He's using a thumb pick. Maybe I should try that out too.
Maybe I should watch what I do. People are paying attention to the things that I do. Maybe I should not be so reckless sometimes. I'm like an example or something, guy. I should set a good example for people, like not using picks. picks.
Well, Sue asked if she should try use a pick, and I think kind of like you gave like the best examples or what you find best works with a pick, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, really, like she should just give it a try and see what she likes, because I'm sure she'll find examples or particulars that is like, oh, I really like when the pick sounds over here, or when I do this with the pick. So yeah, it's all kind of experimentation for you.
Right. So just, I would buy one just to try it out. There's no harm in it. It's not like you're completely destroying your ukulele. Like, just try it out. If you like it, then you like it, because well, we said one man's medicine is another man's poison. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of it, but you might like it. Who knows?
Yeah. The worst you can do, right, is if you like strum really hard and you don't have any pick guards, then you might scratch your top. But if you're already strumming that hard with your fingernail, you're probably scratching your top anyways.
Yeah.
So,
because there is a video of James Hill playing Flight of the Bumblebee, and he's using a pick in that. So I'm not about to tell James Hill to like, hey, don't use that. Like he's like one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. Depends on who you ask. He uses a pick on Flight of the Bumblebee. I've used picks before. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I've used a pick on my third album, the Bandito Tyler album. There was Escape on Sugar, the song that I did that had like kind of this hoarse feel to it. I was using my thumb at first, but fatigue kicked in, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I gotta use a pick, and it just sounded way better anyway. So I'm like, and that also was palm muted, So it wasn't like the hits weren't too bad. So every now and then, you gotta use a pick. So I'm not against it, but I am against using it all the time. Like, but I think situational. There's a time and place.
Yeah, Jim asked if you are using a pick, what soft/hardness do you like?
Ooh, okay, I'm getting the details. I just use whatever's available, honestly. Yeah. But if you want something like specific, the one that I was using is a Fender medium pick. Just your run-of-the-mill medium pick from Fender. If I had a light pick, if I had a heavy pick, I would have probably used that. But if you're wondering which one exactly, if I had a thumb pick, that would have been fine too. If I had a Dunlop thumb pick, usually large because I have a huge thumb. But yeah, so if we're getting specifics on which exact one that I'm using, those are what I would use.
Yeah, most picks are pretty cheap, so you can go to a music
$1.
Music store, and you can probably get like a pretty good range if you've never tried picks before for like $5. So
You know what is my most prized pick, Kahai?
What?
I went to a Yellow Card concert.
Oh,
here on Kauai, and he was just flying picks out, and I caught one of his picks. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, oh man, it's the guy from Yellow Card. I have his pick.
My friend, his dad worked security at that concert. So I was like, oh, did you go? And he's like, no, I wasn't into Yellow Card. Oh. I was like, you could have told me. He's like, I didn't even know you back there, Kai.
That was so long. That was a while back, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Nobody comes to Kauai anymore. So,
yeah, I know. Yeah. Mark, we all know Mark Baldonado. He's been on this show before. He went to a concert. He went to a Roots concert, Hard Rock Cafe over on Oahu, and he caught one of Questlove's drumsticks. Ooh. I was like, yeah, Mark has one, yeah. So Questlove threw his drumsticks and he caught it. I was like, dude, frame it or something, whatever. That's so sick.
The next time, like,
did he get it signed?
I don't think so. I mean, he just caught it. It's not like I think they're trying to keep people away from the band after the show or whatever. Mark is, he's. I don't think he was. Anyone in the VIP list, let's just say.
As a he's a drummer too.
Yeah,
so
He's a drummer catching Questlove's drumsticks.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you said that you went to Stanley, right? And you got a couple. Did you get a couple books?
I did.
Signed?
Yeah.
But then you said you like broke the seal, right? The protective seal.
Yeah.
Got it signed and then put it right back in.
Yeah, and I had to get it regraded. So I have a Spider-Man 121, which is the Death of Gwen Stacy. It's a key issue. I had that signed by Stanley, but prior to getting it signed, it was CGC graded. And I'm like, well, I want it signed. I don't want him to sign on top of the plastic. I want him to sign on a comic. So I brought it and I didn't know how to break the seal and stuff. But then the guys there, they do it all the time,
Yeah.
you know, I guess. So they're like, oh, it's just this. I'm like, and I'm like watching them like with a razor blade, like cut the seal to open the comic inside. And he's like, oh, here you go, just give it to Stan. I'm like holding my comic like this, like trying really hard not to like,
sweat or breathe on it.
because like that, you know, it's not a high grade, you know, comic. I think it's like 8.0, but I don't want it to go down like 7.0. You know what I mean? By like dropping it on the ground or whatever. But yeah, Stanley takes my comic. I'm like, Stan, be careful, buddy. He takes it, he's like, signs it, and like, here you go. I'm like,
I don't know if you know, but that's a valuable thing.
so I Stanley. No, and then I got a poster signed. So that poster is in the background. It's of my Ukulele Oversoul videos. So just a little. So there's a bunch of Easter eggs on the background of those videos. Also, an awesome Pokemon poster on the background that Kahai gave me for Christmas one year. Remember that?
No, I don't.
It's in that like fancy scroll paper.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's like the starter Pokemon, like but it's like in almost like realistic like kind of drawing and stuff. It's pretty cool. Put it in my background. Got tons of comments on it. Thank you, Kahai.
I remember. I know. I picked that out specifically for you.
I have a bunch of stuff, and they're like super nerdy, and you know, I can't just be like, hey Heather, I'm gonna put up this Pokemon poster that I got. But finally, I have like this little shrine that you know that I can just put whatever that I got. So I got like Mega Man up there. I got Pokemon. I got like a bunch of playing cards. You know, I got Bob's Burger stuff. It's cool. So check out the background of all those videos, and it changes every week too.
So Chris and Sue, they asked in particular, what or did you use a different tuning for the Lobo song?
Ooh, yes. Ah, man, see? I love this. This is cool. It makes me very happy. Yes, I was using a low G ukulele, and I tuned a half step up because that song is actually a whole step up in the recording, but Lobo plays it live a half step up instead of a whole step up. So sticking true to the original again, paying homage to it. So I did it in that key. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Yeah, it was different. So it's instead of G C E A, it's G sharp, C sharp, F, A sharp. Yeah, it's cool.
Is that Canada tuning, or is Canada?
No,
tuning
Canada is a whole step.
Whole step.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the student reviews?
Okay, yeah. So we had a couple student reviews. One is from Renee, and the other one is from Kathy.
Yep.
Okay, so Renee, she sent in a student review with her UBass, which is really cool. So she's really been like rocking out with that UBass. It's pretty awesome. So we've worked on her UBass skills this past week for the private lessons. So she kind of knows what she needs to work on. But to reiterate, your position when you're playing, you don't necessarily want to plant your fingers here and then like start to kind of play like this. And the reason being is because if you do this, your fingers are straight, and then when you pick up, it's gonna catch that nail. Like picking up like this, okay? But if you kind of curl your fingers and maybe rest the thumb either here or up here, you're hitting it at a different angle, causing your flesh to hit the bass strings instead of like kind of more fingertip and then the nail out. And you don't necessarily want that tone either because it's a bass. You don't want like a kind of a brightness to your bass line, because that hurts is already taken care of by the guitar or the ukulele or whatever, whatever's there. So you want the bass to be nice and round sounded as possible, and that just kind of makes it a little too bright. Let's see. Be careful of your phrasing, because with the bass lines, especially with an electric bass, because you're amplified and things like that, and you're the one that's going to let the song groove, basically. Okay, so if you're playing playing the bass line, you're trying to let it groove. If you hit a note too early, or if you cut off the last note too early before you get to the next one, you can hear it in the groove, and it's gonna disrupt the groove that people are trying to get into. So just be careful of your phrasing. But you're starting out and you're rocking out, so that's kind of down the line to think about. But for now, just be aware of it. Just be aware to let the note go as long as possible, or if you're meant to kind of stop it super short. So either like super short or very long. It's almost not in anything in between, right? How you play bass?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. There is like a very if you're grooving with the music, you get a feel for like when you're supposed to mute it or let it go. So yeah, just kind of
and it's and I've talked to her about it, and it's because like she's used to kind of playing ukulele. So when she's doing her bass lines, if it's say it goes up like this, like she would kind of use the same fingers. If you're using the same finger, if as soon as you slide over to the next note, that's gonna stop that last note from ringing out. It's things like that where like you should use like different fingers to do it, so that you can hear those notes as long as possible instead of versus. So it just doesn't ring out,
So that's where even like some bassists, they're like even though you can play it on one string, right? They kind of break up the line into different strings so they can let the note ring out while they're also like going for the next part too.
Other than that, pretty good. Like she's only been playing bass for however many months, because it hasn't even been a year like since she got that thing, and she's really rocking out. I'm digging it. She's a rocker.
I think she just got that one because it's from the Fluke company.
Yeah.
So she just got it for herself for Christmas or something.
She bought one and it was fretless, and then she's like, it sounds a little off because if your finger's not in the right place,
precise with that.
So she got it fretted, and she's like, works now. Now it's in tune. It's like it's all good.
The thing that I saw that like it applies both to ukulele and bass is like her left hand wrist is very much like she's pushing her hand.
Yeah.
And I can understand like that's actually a thing a lot of bass players, I think beginner bass players do, because they see a lot of bass players play like that. But it's a bad habit, and you want to try and get your wrist straight. And you can do that by, I think she's already has her elbow pretty tucked into her side. So she can kind of swing it out a little bit more, like
just open it up.
Push the left hand out a little bit more, and it should straighten out the wrist. But
Shoot, that's good advice. See if maybe I could take a day off one day and you sit on here and I'll watch and I'll ask questions and stuff. That's awesome, guy.
That's like straight from Adam Neely, and like like and even like where he explains why you don't want to do that, and it builds what is it called? Carpal tunnel, how it builds carpal tunnel. He explains it really well.
During the private lessons, that's one of the things that I'll tell people, is just to not have this bend or this bend that's kind of up like this. And so that's one of the first things that I fix, or one of the first things that I like let people know about, like to keep that in mind, to not have the wrists overbent this way or overbent that way. There's just ways to kind of hold your ukulele to make sure that it's not bent.
And I think we said this last week too. It's like, for one chord or for one note, you can have your wrist kind of bent out like that for if you're picking just one thing, but you don't want it to be like a majority of the song your wrist is either bent too forward or too back. So that's where it causes problems.
Yeah. All right. So next up we had Kathy, bringing in, was it an original song that she had?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was an original song. Awesome song, very catchy. Love the lyrics, love the singing, love the chords that you were doing. Finger picking was pretty good. The one thing that I do have to kind of comment on is the groove between switching from the finger picking to the strumming. The finger picking was great, and the strumming, and then you actually change the strumming again during either a chorus or some kind of like second part and whatever. So there's 3 different rhythm changes that you're doing. Just make sure that change is a lot smoother, because when in the beginning, when you're going from the finger picking to the strumming, there's like a chunk in there that wasn't in the finger picking, or it was, but it wasn't as pronounced, and then you're finally pronouncing the chunk when you start strumming, and it just didn't quite groove together, going from one rhythm to the other, because Yeah, as a listener, I want to feel like it's the same song, you know what I mean, and not just like one and then going to something else. But there's ways to kind of do two different grooves, but making a good transition and still not having it sound like two different tunes. Yeah, but so since I love the fact that you have 3 different rhythms, which is awesome. I like that. No, so that's not it at all. It's not like stick to one or whatever. It's great. I do that myself. Okay, but it needs to flow from one to the other, because the transition wasn't as smooth, but once my ear kind of got used to the new rhythm, it was really good. And then you change it again, but that's like, okay, I need to kind of transition my ear to kind of do this, and I felt that groove afterwards. So it's just like the audience trying to feel the groove. So if you're setting 3 different grooves, it has to go from one to the other.
Mm-hmm. Can you give an example of going from finger picking to strumming?
Okay,
would sort of match, like the rhythm is similar, but it's totally I think different section.
Her finger picking has a similar groove to her to her strum, but it's just like kind of adding that like really harsh, or not that harsh, but it was just sticking out that chunk. So if I'm doing something, I saw you in my dreams, we were walking hand in hand on a white sandy beach. See how it kind of like goes, how it transitioned from that finger picking to the to the strum, and you almost don't even notice it, until it's finally there.
Flow.
Yeah, so there's that flow. I'll do it again. Maybe I'll do it slower, and maybe I might have gone too fast. I saw you in my dreams. We were walking hand in hand on a white sandy beach. And I even went back, but you have to think of the upcoming rhythm, and you kind of have to like match that upcoming rhythm already before you even get there. Okay? So that once you switch over to that rhythm, it's not foreign. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you maybe show like what happens if you played, that same thing?
Yeah.
And then you put in like a chunk or something.
Yeah, okay.
That was
good idea. So I saw you in my dreams. We were walking hand in hand on a white sandy beach. Even that's like kind of okay, ish, but it's still a little bit too harsh. There's a harshness to it.
Slightly jarring to go from one to the other.
Yes. So you want to transition smoothly. So you can maybe do on a white sandy beach of Hawaii.
I think we need to do a tutorial on how to softly chunk.
Okay.
Because people
chunking me softly.
Yeah, people think that you really need to make it stand out in order for it to even come out. But I mean, we've done like the 3-finger chunk before.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, but there's a way to do a soft chunk where you're using your thumb the same way, but it's just not like chak.
And in the same vein, I think we also should do like, if we do that, we should do the half strum too, because that.
Yeah. It's a similar concept. Even that, like with the soft chunk, you don't have to cover all of the strings.
Yeah.
You can kind of Yeah,
so we'll do it, and then there's like 100 videos that'll have that like in a month. Right? That's yes, Kahai threw some shade. No, just whatever. It's cool.
People copying our style.
Yeah. That's a great idea, Aaron. We should do that.
All these haters.
We'll put like what is it, like we'll do YouTube analytics on it, see how many videos have soft chunks and half strums after you put out the
chucks. Soft chucks.
Yeah.
Okay, half strums turn into have strums with an LVE. But no, we've already established in this show that chunk and chuck are not the same thing, right?
Yeah, and you can do both.
Yeah, they're not copying it at all. It's just it's two different things. Okay, So hopefully that answers, or not that answers your question, but that works out for you. I thought the song was great. I thought it was very catchy. Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something too with her, because she said like she asked if we have any critiques on her playing or like her recording and stuff. And so recording wise, I think that if she has like a preamp on her uke or somewhere in her line of recording, right? It's too hot, and it's interesting because it's not like she's peaking on the end, but you can hear distortion.
Yeah, there's distortion. I forgot about that. See,
on
guy should be in the seat, buddy, right next to me.
Is it on like her vocals or just on everything?
Ukulele.
Yeah, just her strumming ukulele
Oh,
too.
okay.
So and my guess was that maybe she leveled herself for picking. And then when she started strumming, it was kind of strong. So
yeah, I've said it on the show before. Like, if I'm recording, I almost never plug in my ukulele unless like I'm using like an effect on it or something like a distortion or something super heavy, because like softer effects you can add that onto your from your DAW, so the digital workstation or whatever. So you can add it later, like reverb and things like that, or EQ and stuff. That you don't have to add that with your ukulele before it gets to the program. You can use that. You can use the program to put that stuff on there, and I guess you could put it on there before, but the pros and cons, the pros always outweigh the cons, and the cons being it's pretty heavy. Like your pickup is right here on underneath your saddle. Okay, that means all the things that that is it's like the microphone's underneath here basically. Okay, so imagine. Your ear is the microphone. It's kind of like picking up all the sounds. Right? That's what ears does. Imagine if your ear is right here, and then you're playing your ukulele. It's just really pounding. It's not too clean of a sound. We use it when we're live because it's a way to get a good signal for the speakers. But if you're doing recording, you want it to sound as pleasant as possible, unless you're playing punk music, I guess, or things like that. So there are, some genres where you kind of want a dirty sound, but for the most part, in a beautiful song like you just wrote, you want it to come out really nice and clean. And I would suggest using a microphone, like record your ukulele with a microphone. And if you're singing at the same time, if you want to do the record your ukulele and sing at the same time, get two microphones, one pencil mic for your ukulele and one vocal mic for your voice. If you don't have those resources and you just have one microphone, put it, position it in a way where it picks up your ukulele and your vocals at a good volume. Okay, at a reasonable volume for that is balanced.
Record them separately.
Or you can record them separate. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I do it all the time. Yeah. So that's food for thought. Okay, just make sure that you're not peaking when you're recording. And yeah.
To explain, like we're hearing distortion in her recording, and that's usually caused when the signal is too loud somewhere. Mm-hmm. So and then how I learned to kind of balance that out is you play, or if you're recording somebody else, have them play as loud as they're gonna do. Yeah. To see where where it's like bumping up, and then you turn it down like one or two steps. So it's like just below, or you ask them to like play louder than they would, right? So you don't hit that like ceiling.
Yeah.
Usually on your recording interface, it has like the little meter.
Yeah, if it goes red.
If it goes to red, then you're probably peaking, or it goes off of the meter.
So you want your like loudest to be like yellow. You're hitting yellow.
Yeah, just before the red.
Yeah.
And so like my guess is that she was doing like finger picking, and then she leveled herself for finger picking. But in that case, she might want to record the finger picking separate from the strumming itself too.
It might be good too. Like if you do it separate, from the strumming, because that might transition a lot better. Also,
that might have been part of it.
Yeah, because maybe she's doing the picking and then she's trying to get into the groove of the strumming thing, and it just didn't quite go from one to the other. So those are some ideas.
This is something I struggle with today too. Like, Rob asked what was the theme song for today, and that was Hamsini.
Oh, Hamsini. Yeah.
Yeah, and her dad sent me like the raw recordings of it, and he said like, oh, there's like some buzz and some things in this, and I was like, oh, I think I can fix it. But then listening to some recordings, luckily he sent me like a bunch, so I picked the best one out of them. But then some, it's like, oh, that buzz is pretty strong, and there's like nothing I can do to fix it in post recording. And so like that's kind of the saying. Not saying that Kathy's recording was actually pretty good, you know, just like that, like little parts over there. But like you know, they say like garbage in, garbage out. Like you can't really fix if the recording itself.
The quality of the recording, not talking about the song.
Yeah, not talking about the song. Whoa, God, whoa! I felt that.
Well, even her recording was, I thought was pretty good. You know, like understanding where she's coming from, but
there's a saying.
Maybe you should sit over there. No, just joking.
Like, I've tried really hard to like polish things, you know, and there's like a limit to like this is as good as it's gonna get. So
it's the whole putting makeup on a pig thing. But so that's food for thought. Keep those things in mind, and so it'll just make you a better musician overall, I think. Okay, so we want to set the new challenge for today. So here on this show, the Ukulele Underground Podcast, brought to you by nothing. We don't have any sponsors. So sponsors, please come. E2N, we're still calling. We're still reaching out. We love you, E2N. I don't have any E2N products on me right now and stuff. I don't know if Puckerbutt wants to sponsor this show. Totally, that would be amazing. That'd be cool.
If they sent us one bottle or one pepper, even we would be like, oh, sponsored. That's a sponsorship right there.
This shirt. By Devin. Thank you so much, Devin, for compliments of Devin. This shirt. I love it. Mavericks. I don't even surf, but Devin makes me look like I surf. You know, like makes me look like I do. I live in the islands and stuff, and I'm wearing this shirt. And people are like, "Oh snap! You know about Mavericks?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on, yeah, of course."
He was like, that Aldrine always wearing his graphic tees. I gotta get him something to make him seem like a local boy.
Right. It's tough hanging out with my local friends, always wearing my my Rocco's Modern Life shirt. You know what I mean? Like so in order to blend in, this is what I use. This is my costume, basically. You know, like it's
that's your normie
my
shirt.
My normie costume, my local boy shirt. Mavericks is not even from here. All right. Anyway. So in this show, we have a songwriting challenge, which is basically exactly what it sounds like, okay? We try to encourage people to write music using their ukuleles or whatever, just to write music in general, okay? We give you guys guidelines on what to write about or what kind of chords to write with, and you just go off on your own and write us a song and stuff, okay? We will write it also, and our songs are due before yours, so you can kind of hear what we created with the same guidelines, and yours are due the week afterwards. So usually we set 3 weeks for ourselves to do or 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
3 weeks for them.
Right. So usually we give ourselves 2 weeks to write a song based on the guidelines that we're about to come up with, and then 3 weeks you will send over your song, and everyone who sends a song will be put into a hat or into a wheel, and we'll spin the wheel, and we'll give something nice to one of the people who wrote a song. Okay. So our guidelines for this week, and if you're wondering like, oh, can I see examples and stuff? We've done many of these in the past. Check out Ukulele Underground Plus forums on the songwriting mega thread. So there's a bunch of people who wrote songs, a bunch of stuff that we did, and a bunch of the guidelines. So if you want to just write songs in general, you can use the guidelines from there. All right, it's already kind of set. All right, okay. So this challenge, I want to bring something back because we got these two things that is staring at me right in the face. All right, so let's just say the guideline is to write a song in F. Something as simple as that. And why F, you ask? It's for fire. Okay? Fire.
Key of F.
Key of F. Key of fire. Okay, so key of F. For those people who are wondering what chords are in the key of F, it's F, A minor, F, G minor, A minor, B flat, C. We got a D minor. We got E diminished and F. Okay, so that's your chord family for your F. Bum, 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 bum. I guess. I think so. No, that works. Okay, anyway. So those are the chords in the chord family of F. So you can use those, or you can get creative and use some chords from outside of that family. Just, make it nice. Make it nice. But really, that's it. You can just write a song in F if you just with the F chord, if you want. But that's it. That's the only requirements to write a song in F. F for fire. But here are the guidelines of extras if you want to put some spice on it.
Yeah,
bonus guidelines. So this is Spicy Challenge number 2. You have to write a song about spice or about hot sauce or about whatever. Spice. Spice is the word to be inspired by this week. Okay, write a song about spice. It can be anything. However you interpret spice, spice can be anything from it's hot and spicy, like these hot sauces, or spice like a spice chai, or whatever, whatever it may be, or it can be like cardamom and things like that, or. Yeah, some star of anise or whatever. However you interpret spice, that's what you're going to be writing about. Chord progressions, Kahai. Or let's take some from the audience. Does the audience have any suggestions on what we should add for this week's or this songwriting challenge? Yeah, this month's songwriting challenge.
While we wait for the audience to come up with some stuff, I was thinking usually when we come in with our songs, right? We'll say I wrote this song and then I figured out that it sounds like this song, or I was inspired by this song or this thing. So I thought maybe a fun bonus would be include base your song off of something else, whether it be another song or a book or a movie or something, and then include that with your song submission. Say what it's how you came up with the song or what the song is about. So I think that'll be cool to read about and check out.
Yeah. So write your suggestions and we'll take them. So as you're doing that, let's do this. So I am so excited and so scared that I was late to work today to come to this show. And that's why it's not anyone else's fault. It's my fault that we started 10 minutes late today. I had to run over to my local fast food place. I don't want to say where,
Because we're not sponsored.
Because we're not sponsored by anyone. To win, to get some nuggets. So nuggets, chicken nuggets, not chicken whatever nuggets. It's just regular chicken nuggets, some shaped like a boot.
yeah.
So
breaded and fried.
Breaded and fried chicken nuggets. So we're going to be using these, and we're going to be testing out these two sauces that the Kevin Bay and his family gave us. Okay, so these
Kevin
two
and Shirley.
Yeah, Kevin Shirley. So. This first sauce that we're going to try out is the Hot Voodoo Prince Death Mamba hot sauce.
Great.
Yeah, great. It is distilled vinegar, jolokia pepper. Jolokia peppers and vinegar, onions, garlic, chili powder, cumin, white pepper, dry mustard, mustard seed, black pepper, ghost chili pepper, habanero pepper powder.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of ghost chili.
I think
this is right up my alley, maybe.
Yeah, and I think the boot jolokia and the ghost chili are the second and third hottest.
I've never had jolokia, so I've had Maruga Scorpion, which used to be the hottest, and I've not had jolokia, but ghost pepper right up my alley. But jolokia might push me over the edge. This, on the other hand, is the second thing that we're gonna try, and there's just 3 ingredients. The first ingredient. Reaper peppers. That's Carolina Reaper, the hottest pepper in the world. Then distilled vinegar, and then Reaper pepper powder. 3 ingredients in this. Okay? So this is what I'm scared of today. This maybe this might sucker punch me that. I'm taking it lightly. But because I'm so scared of this. But we're gonna try both of them. Do we have any suggestions so far, Kahai?
No, I don't think so. For the songwriting challenge.
Yeah, for the songwriting challenge. Let us know. Let us know what chord progressions you guys may think, what we should write about. I know I said hot sauce and stuff, but if you guys have any other suggestions on what else to write about.
Or like bonuses.
Bonuses, of course. Bonuses. Let us know in the live chat right now. So while we're doing this, we can talk to you, or ask me questions while I suffer from some hot burns in my mouth. Right, Kahai? You have questions for me, bud?
I don't know. I don't think so.
How long are you gonna be working here? Forever. Forever. We talked to your parents. The adoption papers are coming. I have legally adopted you, Kai.
Yeah.
Actually, going back to Renee, because she was using that bass from Fluke.
Yeah.
That's gotten really popular. Ukulele-sized basses, or UBass, like call those UBass. So we get questions about that. Like, a lot of people ask, where do I find UBass lessons? So like, what is your answer to that? Because is the UBass an ukulele?
Yeah, we covered this before with Mike, right? So the U bass not necessarily an ukulele. It's a bass. It's really a bass. For uke bass and stuff, I feel like the U is just there to saying it's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Like you know, like how there's like the baby guitars and stuff, or like what is that called? The GS Mini. Yeah. So it's like a mini bass. So you can think of the U and U bass as mini. It's basically a mini bass. It doesn't really share anything with ukuleles other than the size. You pick it, you don't necessarily strum it unless you're that great of a bass player, you know. But it's got the same notes as a bass. Some strings, you know, share the bass kind of the regular bass strings. Some are those kind of gummy, you know, rubber strings that they have and stuff. But it's the furthest away from an ukulele other than the size that I know of. So where to get lessons? Other than YouTube, you know, I have to give a shout out to Ukulele. Ukulele gives bass lessons, so he does. Ukulele is awesome at that. He gives some bass lessons, but there's a lot of cool like bassists out there that just give lessons off of YouTube, or you can try something like Scott's Bass Lessons. Any bass lesson website would work for that.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you don't need to be. It doesn't have to be specifically UBass lessons. So they can just be bass lessons, and you'll be able to learn how to use your UBass.
I think Mike even explained that before Kala made UBass, right? There was portable bass guitars, and they looked almost exactly the same. So Kala kind of invented the whole UBass brand. And
it's a brand. It's kind of like saying Q-tips. Right? So it's just really just a mini bass.
It's become synonymous with the like smaller travel size bass, but really they're a bass guitar first.
Which one is which?
This one is the Voodoo Prince Death Mamba.
So we're going right to left, or
I don't know. So I have poured it.
The thick one is the hot one.
Yeah. So show the close up right there. So it's all good. This is the second to the hottest sauce. This is the hottest sauce. Prior to this, in the same fast food joint that I went to, they had a mint vanilla ice cream treat. Okay, that I have on standby just in case things go south. So I'm gonna dip this very iconic boot shape into the first sauce, and I'm gonna get a good amount so that people don't say like, oh, you only put like I like barely touched it or whatever. Okay, here.
Yeah,
very good.
That's what I expected out of that one.
It's creeping though. It's like building. Okay, that's pretty good. Need to take a deep breath.
With the same nugget, you're going back for the...
Yeah, but underneath this one. So now, you know what I mean? That's how I double dip, baby.
I would use the rest of the nugget to cool my mouth off before I...
Good idea.
Oh, you can do whatever you want.
I just didn't want to eat as much fast food, but you're right. Doesn't need much cooling. I love that. Jolokia pepper. Conquered. Meh. Now the Reaper. Get a good amount. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You guys are gonna try it too, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll try a tip or something.
Here we go. Ooh. That hits like right away.
Oh.
Okay. It's definitely it's super hot. I'm exciting a little bit. I finally found my match. Oh my gosh! I did the mistake of swallowing a little too early. Oh, it's hot. But I'm gonna go for a second one. Go for a second one. It's on there. A little bit more. Good. That's pretty good, but it's spicy.
My stomach hurts already.
Oh, jeez.
Careful around the eyes.
I'm good. I'll wipe my hand before. Oh!
Where, like...
I'm trying not to drink water. Like, I'm just trying to...
What's the hottest thing that you've ever had?
That is the highest
already?
thing that
Oh
I've
my
had.
gosh.
That.
Even compared to Thailand?
Yes.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Don't touch my eyes.
Don't, yeah. Please don't.
Okay. I think we're good though.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to try that one.
I'm so sweaty. Oh. No, don't drink the water. Don't drink the water. Just take it. Do we have any suggestions, Kai?
No.
You can see me glistening in the shot. No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People are just excited about you eating the...
Let's think of more things to add to the challenge. What other things? Come on, think of something.
Kevin is in the chat.
Think of something. 1645
For...
in F. 1645.
Okay.
Chord progression. Let's do.
How about like a augmented or like that
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of chord?
What would that be? An augmented. What chord is that? One augmented. So like F augmented. F augmented.
Okay.
Oh.
Jim says, chew some steel wool.
Oh my god. It feels like steel wool in my mouth already. And it's because I swallowed it too early. Like
my
that's what's
gosh.
really burning. It's right here. Just like a ball.
And you went back for another dip.
You know?
So that's probably what did it too.
That is
so scary to me because the hot one sauce, I like doing just a little bit of that one. I was like, oh, this is too hot.
Yeah.
And for you to be like,
Yeah.
I have to wipe my eyes, but not with the same
Yeah.
paper.
I don't think, because I wasn't there for when you did the Thailand challenge, right?
Yeah. No, that was just pure quantity. Because like we had one and we had another one to see who
Oh yeah. And so
Me and-
who would tap out first?
who would tap out, and I couldn't. But that was when I was weak too. I wasn't doing like ghost peppers and stuff.
You weren't in top.
I did it. I conquered it. I got over it. It's going down now. Champ, Kai. No waters drank.
No.
Went back for seconds too. I might
Yeah.
go for thirds because that was. I gotta admit that was tasty. that was still tasty.
I'm glad Aaron got like a close up of your face because that is definitely gonna be the thumbnail for this.
Oh,
week.
that is, it's tasty. Like my nose is runny, my eyes are watering a little bit, but dang, I have met my match.
Yeah.
It had to be.
What is it called?
It's called Reaper Squeezins. Reaper XXX Squeezins.
Yeah.
By the Pucker Butt Pepper Company. Signed by Smokin' Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the signed one.
Yeah.
This one is like 50% hotter than what they have when it's not signed, I guess.
Oh.
It's a
Oh,
limited
really?
edition. Yeah.
It's a limited edition. It's even hotter.
Yeah.
This expires in 2023, so I have 2 years to eat this.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said you have 2
Yeah,
years.
I'm guessing no one else is taking that home.
Yeah.
So,
Nobody's taking that.
you guys want to try?
And maybe after the show.
Because I mean, the show is almost over, right? We gotta get it on camera, guy.
I'll try the other one.
Okay, the other one is it's no joke. Also,
Yeah. So
oh, there we go. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, gonna try it right now. Take one and dip it. Okay. Aaron?
I feel like I have to sign.
I'm sweating.
Dude, does our insurance cover this?
What insurance? I don't know what you're talking. We're an online ukulele company.
Do I have to sign a safety waiver?
Affordable Care Act. You can sign up for it all the way up until May, baby.
Okay.
Go ahead. So they're taking a bite.
Does not cover. Oh.
Yeah, it is. Right it.
Well, immediately
Yeah. In the spirit, I'm gonna take one more of
the other one.
the Reaper Squeezins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's for the gram, baby.
Yeah.
I'm go in there again. Yeah, it's spicy. Imagine this one. So it's there. Just to prove. What apple flavors?
I like this one though.
It tastes good.
Yeah.
Like that man knows how to make a good sauce. Hot sauce.
Yeah. I'm guessing that the other one tastes good too, but I don't need to try that one.
Yeah. It goes.
Woo.
It goes hot at first, and then it goes vinegary in the middle.
Yeah, at the end.
And then towards the end, it kind of creeps back.
It has that like sting that stays around your mouth.
Yeah.
No. One more?
Yeah. Has a sting.
I've kind of gotten used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. The second nugget, not that bad. Well, I guess my taste buds are already burned off or whatever.
Yeah.
Like my mouth is already on fire.
Yeah.
So
It's like he's already dead.
no big deal. No big deal. Conquered.
Yeah.
Representing.
Yeah, that other one.
My
is
dad would be proud
not
of that.
bad.
The other one's good.
It's hot. It's hot though.
You want to go over the rules of the songwriting challenge one more time?
So the rules. Oh, there it is. The rules are write a song on F. That's it. You just have to write a song in the key of F. Chords in F, in the key of F, include. It's creeping. F, G minor, A minor, B flat, C, D minor, E diminished, and F. Okay, so just for some ideas.
Yeah. Oh, so your 1645 is.
Yeah, so your 1645 is F, D minor, B flat, and C. Your run-of-the-mill 50s chord progression.
Yeah.
I'm like salivating because I guess my tongue needs to cover it because it's just burnt off. You guys don't want to try that one?
Maybe later.
Can you do it again?
Toothpick.
What?
Can you, play the 1/6.
1645 F, D minor, B flat, C.
My head is sweating.
And then you said a 1 augmented?
Yeah. So, be here. So you basically just add that B, sorry, C sharp So that F, the C sharp in there. I guess maybe add because we don't want to hear the C and the C sharp together. So we'll do this maybe? No, yeah. We'll do that. It's stuff. Because I know how to do it here. Let's just do that. My brain it can't think right now. It's building up again, and my eyes are watering. I need to use a different napkin because I use that other one to wipe my eyes. But it's so good. I might go for another one later. Not even joking. All right, so that is your F diminished. Oh, sorry, F augmented. F with a C sharp in there.
Is that like the chords that you use for like Kiss Me? Like you climb up the stuff?
No, because Kiss Me will be the major 7 and then the 7, the regular like dominant 7, and then back to major 7 and then the regular. So that will be it. But this is more like a all my loving I will send to you. All my loving, darling, I'll be true. It's more that chord.
Yeah.
So
I think, "Raining in My Heart" by Buddy Holly.
Okay. But yeah, one augmented, one thing that you can use for your challenge. If not, you don't have to. Just for funsies. 1645. What else? That was it, right? That's all I said. I don't even remember what I said. My head is spinning.
Spicy, write a spicy song.
Yeah, write a spicy song. It's a spicy song challenge. Part 2. Part deuce.
And then
Dukes.
if you use like another song as like a bass for it or something, like include those things too. So
Yeah.
say what inspired you to write the song. So, yeah.
Still not going for the water, at least until the cameras are off. Okay, just to show that I'm just taking it. My mouth is burning and it's on fire. But thank you so much for saliva. Tuning into the Ukulele Underground Podcast. I am Aldrine Guerrero. That's Aaron and Kahai. March 4th, mark your calendars. March 4th is going to be our next Ukulele Underground open mic. So March 4th, mark your calendars. We'll have details and the link and all that stuff. It's basically Ukulele Underground. If you go to Ukulele Underground, you'll see the links there. You'll see the banner that day that you can just click on so you can participate. But we'll be talking about it throughout the weeks. Tomorrow we have a Aloha Friday Live Jam, and right after that jam we have live coaching. Okay, I'll see you folks next time. Have a great one. Aloha.